Perhaps we are in the last weeks after all the months of agony that were physically depicted on the XRP charts. Guys, take a look at that happy face. Throughout the years, you and I endured a great deal of agony and suffering, but we never lost our smiles. Why? Because we might well be in our last weeks here. I mean, we might be. Since it happened so abruptly, we could actually be one leg higher. XRP doesn't give you any kind of cues or signals, but occasionally it does when we look at the charts, which is how we determine that perhaps the explosion is imminent and we should look into it. If XRP is repeating 2017, we are in the last week before a huge explosion and surge, correct? This is an interesting chart that looks back at XRP's last run in 2017. Here is the current XRP chart after that. Very fascinating. The 2017 run from the bottom of this chart to the next higher point took 280 days, correct? 40 bars. Where does the same thing lead us? We fast forward to August 11th, the beginning of next week, in the bottom 280 days. Whoa, that will be in a few days, isn't it? Apparently, this chart predicts that this $10 explosion will happen next week, guys. This move is right here, correct? At that time, XRP went from about 20 cents to almost $3.84. All right, from here to possibly here. And if we follow this chart, that occurs the following week because, look at this too. The RSI is about halfway there, guys, and it's the same thing that's going on right now. Isn't it? That's halfway there. You do realize that it will suddenly soar when the candle appears. It will also go over the bot. That's where it continues to fly up, isn't it? Due to the tremendous momentum. Well, to be honest, perhaps so. Interesting, fascinating. In the near future, there may also be a link between this and the SEC case. Now, wait a moment. According to a chart nerd, the XRP bull flag is rather straightforward, with a breakout objective of $14 to $15. The current range of support for this correction is $2.60 to 40 cents. $2.40 on his trip, pushing towards $8 once funding is secured. Guys, have a look at this graphic. We're not going to discard you, you know why, because the pattern is still in place. I take it that the pattern is still in effect. This flag pattern is the one we're discussing, correct? This arrangement of the flags. The goal is to determine the length and size of the flagpole, which you then place on top of the pattern's breakout to get us to $15. All right? The question now is, have we reached our lowest point? Maybe. And once more, this might also coincide with next week. Since there is a lot of bullish news coming out today that we won't discuss right now, that exploding candle appears just where it should. However, let me tell you all, this will be the line in the sand, man. What is the one line we need to look out? For that will tell me if we are going to blow up to $10 or more. For us to resolve these issues, it is a line on the weekly chart that compares the initial bid of XRP. Gentlemen, this moving average is currently at 0.00003091 satoshis. All right? It is situated in this area. And this is where the problem lies. Once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 times it has held up as resistance. 9 times. That suggests it will finally break out when we return to this location. Not even like those men, probably retain that support for a little while before blasting through the ceiling. Like this, like that is most likely what it will be. All right, everything will happen swiftly as well because that is how XRP travels once it crosses this area. Which do I consider for myself? Since Bitcoin simply continues going up and down, I'm not sure what the precise price of XRP for Suzy is. However, it's likely approximately $390 to $380 in this area, which is slightly less than $4. And that's it, guys. As soon as that occurs, this line had kept XRP down for 245 days, but now it is free. All right. And let's not forget to have a look at all of the prior resistance. All right. Once more, simply leave this location and observe where XRP is heading straight to this next area. This is where the first pit stop will be. This is where the second pit stop will be. Correct? There isn't much resistance in this area, but there will likely be a lot of resistance here. That's a long way, though. That's almost 300% more than what Bitcoin will do. 3x, eh? Insane. Are you all set? The case is now also coming to a close. The way the charts sort of tie in is fascinating. Not really. It's related to the case's resolution. As we previously stated, the SEC will timing the case to conclude when the charts appear stunning. Out of 13 crypto ETF votes, the ECC screenshot indicates that the XRP ETF is rejected. She is primarily opposed to XRP and was the only one to say no. People are beginning to believe that this goes beyond prudence. It's hatred. It's interesting, but do they require 100%? Is a majority vote sufficient for approval, or does it require 3 votes? However, it might still lead to delays even if one commissioner is against it. It cannot halt the approval process. Whoa. All right. So I suppose it doesn't even matter, guys. Since the majority has indicated that this is accepted, or yes, in this instance, interesting, huh? Guys, that's my opinion. It doesn't really matter. However, the case conclusion is literally predicted on Polymarket. Guys, this isn't even joking. I'm not even kidding. The likelihood of the XRP ETF being approved fell to 62%. Why? Just yesterday, or very recently, it was at 90%. Interesting from Eric. Trades describing how, following the release of the votes indicating Crenshaw's vote against the XRP ETF, the Polymarket odds of its adoption dropped to 62%. However, A, she will vote against everything, and B, it is pointless. She is outnumbered. Equal, we haven't altered our odds, and it was said that he works for Bloomberg as a senior ETF analyst. All right, and he says that we still have a 95% chance of getting the go-ahead. Guys, the lawsuit is getting green light, therefore XRP is finally being released for us. Whoa. It doesn't even matter again. Now, take a look at this. By the time you are all seeing this video at 3 o'clock today, there is a link between the SEC and the Ripple ruling. Take a look. Not to mention the SEC today at 3 o'clock. Ripple's decision to drop its appeal is anticipated to be discussed by the SEC. This is significant. Guys, hold on. It might happen today? What? Whoa, I can hear it already. Yes, this has been going on for years. We're finished. We've sold out already. Bop, bop, bop. We apologize to those who did not have enough trust because the time has come. Guys, it is insane. Hold on. Once more, the charts indicate that it's pointing in that direction, folks.